Majority wins. Now it's time for Spider-Gwen. So Sony wants to make spin-off films in relation to Spider-Man, and they want to do a female solo film with characters such as Black Cat and Silver Sable. However, there's a certain female superhero that Sony could use instead of Black Cat or Silver Sable. The female superhero in question is of course Spider-Gwen, who is a huge fan favourite in recent memory. Now lately I have been making videos on as to why Sony should use characters like Spider-Man 2099 and Spider-Man Noir as part of their shared universe, and plant the seeds for the inevitable Spider-Verse film. So in this video I'm going to be doing the same treatment as I did with the last two videos, but this time I'll be discussing on as to why Sony should make a Spider-Gwen film. So for starters, the Spider-Gwen universe is completely unrelated to the mainstream continuity. Therefore, you don't have to worry about Peter Parker being Spider-Man or anything like that. And also, you have a complete clean slate. And in this universe, this is when the radioactive spider bites Gwen instead of Peter Parker. And if you think that it's pretty much the same thing, only the roles are reversed, think again, because this version of Gwen Stacy is different in comparison to the mainstream continuity, because unlike the original Gwen Stacy, who is all about science, this version of Gwen Stacy is younger and also embraces music. Plus this Gwen Stacy is in a band which is called the Mary Chains. Plus the Spider-Gwen comics has took liberties with all sorts of characters that we know from the Spider-Man mythos and tweaked them a little bit to make it different. And unlike Peter Parker's Spider-Man, Spider-Gwen doesn't learn that with great power comes great responsibility until much later on. And because of how Gwen Stacy in this version is more rebellious and stuff, you could have a whole film with Gwen Stacy just abusing her spider-like abilities until she learns that with great power comes great responsibility. And like in the comics, have Peter Parker be the main villain and have him become the Lizard. Because as you know in the comics, after Peter Parker's death, Gwen Stacy does learn that with great power comes great responsibility. And sure, the Lizard has already been done before in the Amazing Spider-Man series, but in my eyes, I think that this is a rather good nod. Because like how Gwen Stacy, when she first got introduced into the films as a major player, excluding Spider-Man 3, the Lizard was also the first villain for Spider-Man to face. And remember, this isn't Kirk Connors as the Lizard, this is Peter Parker as the Lizard. And in the films, we have never seen Peter Parker be a straight up villain before, so I think this would be rather interesting. And speaking of the Amazing Spider-Man series, you could effectively bring back Emma Stone as Gwen Stacy. Yes, she did die in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, but A, they're not making any more of these films, and B, Emma Stone is still contracted into making at least another appearance in a Spider-Man film. Not to mention that everyone praises Emma Stone as Gwen Stacy and claims that she is one of the best things in the Amazing Spider-Man franchise. But if they don't want to go with that route and have another Gwen Stacy, then I'm all for it. But the main reason as to why Sony should make a Spider-Gwen film is purely because Gwen Stacy is one of the most popular comic book characters in this day and age, and plus, she is a female superhero and a female Spider-Man. And for these reasons alone, Spider-Gwen would make a ton of money. And sure, we're gonna get Wonder Woman as well as Captain Marvel, but you know, if you want to cash in on the female superhero craze, then you may as well go with Spider-Gwen. And if you read some of the earlier Spider-Gwen comics, then you would know that this version does have this grungy, angst, and edgy kind of vibe. And with these aesthetics, Spider-Gwen would make a very unique entry in the Spider-Man spin-off film. And since Spider-Gwen is getting such a huge push lately, Sony should just go all out and make a Spider-Gwen film. Especially since Spider-Gwen is so hot right now. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I've been making videos in relation to the Spider-Man related characters and how they could work as their own spin-off films and eventually plant the seeds for the inevitable Spider-Verse film. And just like last time, I'm going to be making a poll for you guys to vote on which Spider related character I should talk about next. And the candidates are of course Scarlet Spider, and specifically Kane, because Kane is more separated from Peter Parker than Ben Reilly, and that you could actually make something out of this character without having to rely on Peter Parker. We also have Silk, who although is technically somewhat of a Spider-Girl knockoff, she is very separated from Peter Parker for the most part, and she has her own unique stories to tell. We also have the Superior Spider-Man, which is incredibly difficult considering you really have to have Peter Parker and establish Dr. Octopus. But since this is one of the more recent events in the Spider-Man mythos, this is actually kind of doable. And lastly, we have Spider-Ham. And no joke, I am eventually going to talk about this guy and how I would make a film out of him. But of course, I would have Spider-Ham as an animated feature, much like the Lego Batman film or something like that. So would you like to see Spider-Gwen on the big screen? Comment below and share some thoughts. And as always, thank you guys for watching this video. Please like and subscribe. Take care and have a good one.